Welcome to another episode of the Resilient Lawyer podcast. So today we are joined with Marilize Jacobs. She is a reputation strategist. Her career spans from interior decorating, marketing, and PR, and she's known for her strategic skills, thoroughness, and tenacity when it comes to building reputations. And we really look forward to talking to you today, Marilize. I think we are talking about a very important topic, how to build your brand as a lawyer. But before we get into that topic, Marilize, please tell everybody that's watching right now or that's listening to the podcast, who's Marilize and how did you get into this career? Why are you so passionate about marketing and branding?
Thank you so much that I can have this chat with everyone. Welcome. I'm Marilize. I think the big thing is branding happens every day. You go to a braai, you're meeting someone, within 30 seconds, you're already branding that person. So it's actually going further than just the professional side of it. So much more when I meet a lawyer. 30 seconds, I know if I trust you. I'm going to tell you, I read this the other day, which is quite interesting. Benefit of the doubt by trust. Listen to that. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, but I trust you. And that happens in our daily lives. I don't know if I'm going to meet you and I'm going to trust you, but I'm giving you that benefit. So that's why it's so interesting for me to work within this realm where the psychological things are also coming into 1 and 1 is 11. Yes.
Thank you, Marilize. And I think one of the problems, especially in the legal fraternity, is that there's a big confusion between marketing, advertising, and branding. Can you just distinguish that for us? Because there's a lot of buzzwords going around, but everyone seems to blur it as one concept.
Correct. The umbrella is branding. Let's start with that. So your brand is your personality and how you are perceived. Exactly what I said earlier with regards to, 30 seconds, I like this person or I don't like them. Unfortunately, that is what life works like. Then we've got marketing, where lawyers can still get involved. And I know the pyramids and perimeters, sorry, I'm very Afrikaans, where there's a line. But your marketing is also, do I do thought leadership articles? Am I involved at speaking events? But then the third tier is advertising, where I will never advise someone in professional services to get involved in, because that's your billboards, that's your TV ads, whatever. So people don't understand the difference between, we're not even talking about advertising. We are talking about branding and then marketing. Branding, for example, let's think about Coca-Cola. They've got a logo, white and red. It's quite friendly, engaging, the combo, how they do that. That's exactly your branding. So your logo goes in there, except just from your personality, what people meet. What do I convey with regards to my personality of my brand. So for me, branding and marketing is quite closely linked, and within the industry, definitely not advertising. Nike, we've got the swoosh. Immediately, you've got a connection. That's
true.
branding.
But for a legal professional, and I mean all of that, advertising, marketing, branding is very alien to us because it's a profession. How should you brand yourself, or rather, how should you not brand yourself? Because we don't think about it at all.
The branding is from personal experience. I'm going to tell you. There's certain names in the industry, there's certain people. I've had very bad experiences with regards to people in the industry where it is, they don't appreciate that whole branding thing. I want trust. That's the biggest thing. I want to come to you and I want to know what you profiled is trust. So immediately by doing something like what your website shows, what your interaction shows, everything is part of your brand.
And clients, obviously the public and clients, when they go to a legal professional, they're already nervous. They already either have a difficult situation or they're very emotional. Is there anything you could add to our branding that could assist to make people more comfortable in that first interaction?
For me, like I said, I had a few bad experiences. I think it's very important to grow your EQ and your IQ. I'm going to chat about that a bit later within that realm. Marika is fabulous with that stuff. Don't handle me as a object. I'm already anxious, nervous. You must probably, the lawyer is also anxious or maybe is oblivious. So soft skill set is very important. I'm going to share a personal story. I mean, I'm not 19 anymore, but my thing is we're now going through second marriages and divorces, and everything was handled so like a box. And I think there's a huge gap in terms of, never mind branding yourself, it's in the same lap, but empathy, EQ, IQ. And I would like to chat a bit about IQ because not a lot of people know what that is. That is your advertising quotient. So we've got EQ, SQ, IQ, and fourth one, advertising. Advertising is where you're going through a rough time, but in layman's terms, and then coming out of that a better person. And that is what I feel sometimes people are missing. Motivate your client in their IQ. Listen, you're going to be better there. Never mind that you are a resilient lawyer, because you first need to understand what is IQ, and then you can give it to your client.
Thank you for that. Marika, I don't know if you can elaborate on that. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, no, it sounds very similar to resilience because, I mean,
Correct.
resilience is, how you grow and develop through adversity. and how quickly you bounce back from that, next time. But I
Correct.
think that's where the EQ comes in. I think the one can't go without the other,
Of
because
course.
with EQ, you can actually put yourself in your client's shoes and see it from their perspective, what they are going through. And yeah, like you say, you build a brand through that personal relationship probably. And I think, for myself as a coach, I think it's slightly similar, because I can't advertise my services because you need to look for me. I can't say, hey, hello, here I am. Do you want my help? Do you need transformation in your life? And I think it's very similar, where it's a service, but word of mouth probably goes way further than, what your website actually says, I guess.
Absolutely. And that is where branding comes in. It's your umbrella. Where's my trust? Where do I find a space where I think I can resonate with this person? Like I say, who never trusts a Coke? Okay, that sounds
Yes.
logical.
Yeah, but
A Nike.
you know the brand.
Yeah, let me just call it Coca-Cola and not Coke. It's very important, and it's your umbrella where I understand this person, she looks like this, everything, logo, presentation, emotional connection, like you say, Marika,
Yes.
EQ, definitely.
Yes. So, what avenues can a lawyer use to build trust? Because it's obviously not only in the way that you deal with your clients. What other avenues could one use to develop, that brand and that trust perception, of who you are and what you stand for?
People work with credibility at the end of the day. Listen, uh, let's take something like a Google review. I go and check that. Minimum Google review is 4.4. Otherwise, I don't trust you.
Same.
What's my testimonials? How many thought leaderships articles have I got out there? Am I doing a bit of PR for myself? And PR is reputation management, technically, because it's tired to just say PR. The industry's changed so much. It's not just, wow, PR, let's do this, that, photo shoots. It's all that credibility, because that makes me trust you. Because some other people saw you, judged you, rated you, and that gives the credibility.
And
No, yes.
you mentioned the photo shoot. One of the things I obviously do is I Google everyone, and you always go and look at someone's little photo that you can find on the internet. How important is that? I know it creates a certain perception for me, but how important is your photo that you put out there in the world?
Of course. I always say most people, especially men, are very visual. So it's not looking at a hot chick, but I want to see what this person looks like that I'm going to deal with. Because immediately then you've got a certain perception. What she's wearing. Is she colorful? Is she dull? So immediately there you gather info. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan. I believe that's the way forward. And for me, any lawyer that is not there is a danger sign. And if I Google you, let's say,
Google
whatever,
Sonia.
Marilize Jacobs or whatever.
Sonia Salia.
Yeah,
As an advocate.
Marilize Jacobs. If I see 600 Marilize Jacobs that staying in London or Australia or whatever. I want to see you coming up first.
That means you have to probably then obviously embrace the online space. And I think that's also a very important and daunting maybe conversation, because maybe you were used to practicing things and doing things in a certain way. And if you think back 10, 20 years ago, there was limited options, in terms of creating that brand and awareness. But now there's that web and there's so many options and so forth. One has to embrace that, I guess, in the era that we are living in.
And like I say, your brand is an umbrella. It's your logo, it's your look and feel, it's your introduction. And then comes soft skill marketing. You don't shout. You're not doing a billboard.
Yes.
You just saying, I've got a voice in the industry. I'm a thought leader. I've got an opinion about something. That's where reputation management is so fabulous.
Or at least, what exactly is a thought leader? I've heard that word mentioned so often, but what does it really mean, a thought leader?
Okay, so a thought leader is someone that is a leader in terms of thoughts. No, I'm only joking. No, you position yourself in terms of a certain topic. Let's say you are a lawyer specializing in family law. So now you talk about that all the time on your socials, on your website, to your clients. So you become a thought leader where it is usually, you can't say the stuff that's already known. You talk about your case studies, what you've seen, where you see a gap in the market, where you see it's unfair. So that's really thought leadership. You are a leader in terms of your thoughts, what you think.
And I think the important thing is you are the one responsible for that. You make yourself the expert, of that specific topic. I think that's the one thing. You have to develop that perception or be the thought leader.
And the interesting thing is everyone thinks, well, I'm just in a system. You always have a story to tell. And there's always one point where you can thought leadership. Talking to your peers about that issue that you discovered, or your clients. I want to hear you hearing me as a client. And that's where thought leadership comes in.
Ms. Marilize, I think that what you just said is very important, because there's been such a shift in what the public wants, and really the tradition in the legal fraternity. Just putting ourselves out there is quite a foreign concept. Being on social media or even commenting on something is a very foreign, uncomfortable feeling for us. But there's a shift in what is expected globally, and from PMRI side, we've been hearing that from the public. There's a shift in what is expected. So what you just said is very important, that you want to be heard as a client. Whereas that's never really been the profession's way of marketing themselves or branding themselves, which I think is a very important point you just made.
Because I'm sitting across someone that I want help from. And it's almost like every time there's a little bit of a wall and I can't get through to it because there's so many rules and regulations, and there's not the soft skills to tell me, Marilize, I can see you feeling a bit anxious. Don't worry. Let's chat about this. Maybe the lawyer is also burnt out. He's tired. Imagine this. He's also tired of hearing, "Boo, I want to divorce my wife, this story, that, blah, blah, blah." So it's a very important relationship. It's not only a one-way street. I see it as that. So I'm feeling anxious. The lawyer is feeling tired because he's heard this all day. Now I'm coming with my little story and recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think that's one of the important things that we do, and I think that's something that we always address, in terms of mindset and
Correct.
understanding resilience and emotional intelligence, etc. Because it's not just about you or your client; it's also your brand and everything that goes with that as well. I'm wondering if we can maybe think about a few pillars. If someone is practicing or they have practiced for a long time or they are new, in this industry, maybe we can think of a few pillars where they can focus on, to start building their brands, to get over that maybe uncomfortableness, to embrace the web. Because the one part, like we said, is the relationship. But what are the few pillars perhaps that they can focus on, or their attention on to build their brands?
I'm going to throw in, I sound like homework now. I'm going to throw in a value add for everyone today that's joining.
Awesome.
We've got a Global Reputation Institute, where we go and measure your reputation, where it's happening, where you're sitting. Don't be sad if you come in at 25%. We say. So pop me an
That's
email,
great.
and
Yes.
I'm
Is there
offering
a link that they can visit, a website link, or do they have to send you an email? I'm going to
an
put that
email,
into the
please.
description. Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay, that would be
So
brilliant.
I know, because usually professional services, because I deal a lot with engineers, lawyers, doctors, surgeons. One, you don't have time. Two, you're a bit reluctant to, what is the story? I don't want to go over the lines in terms of rules. So I do a quick analysis of where you're lying and say, these are the steps that I suggest.
Okay. I think that's great. It gives you a foundation, to understand this is where I am at now, between 0 and 100%. What's my
Correct.
reputation like? I think it would be awesome. And then
And
building
it's
from there.
totally objective.
Yes.
There's, like I say, it's a global, it's not something that I do from my computer or whatever.
Yes.
It's literally a global, almost like a trust check.
Yes. That's brilliant.
Where
I
do
love
you
that.
lie with your reputation?
Great. Thank you, Marilize. And to wrap up our session for today, is there any final thought that you would like to leave, the lawyers with, to build their brand?
You are a brand. Everyone thinks Nando's is a brand, McDonald's, Merck, BMW. You're a brand, and you need to treat it like that.
Yeah, very important.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Marilize. We really enjoyed the discussion. I think it's very important, to just become a bit more open, to this idea, that you are your brand. You have to embrace the online world as well when it comes to creating that reputation. Like you said, perhaps the first thing is also maybe to Google yourself, and see what comes up, That can also be a good indication. It's a bit challenging for myself because, I changed surnames recently, so that I have to Google myself twice to see what my reputation is currently on both ends. But thank you so much for your time, Marilize. It was really brilliant
I
talking to
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And like I say, please, whoever's listening, I know there's going to be a replay. Let them contact me. I'll do a quick assessment of where your reputation lies. And it's not scary, and no one is going to say, "Oh, this lawyer is moving in between the lines. He's marketing."
Thanks, Marilize. For those who's listening on Spotify that won't necessarily, see it I'm going to put this in the description though. You can just quickly give your email address for those who are listening. What's your
Do
email
you want me
address?
to spell this? Because this is
Is it
usually a
long?
problem. Okay. It's Marilize, Marilize, B for Bravo. I listened
Yes,
in
well
class
done.
at mweb.co.za.
Easy enough. Thank you, Marilize. I think that's brilliant. Thank you so much, and thank you for everybody that is watching and listening to this episode. I want you to also, if you want to get more information on what PMRI does, we'll put the links also in the description, and we'll put Marilize's email address as well. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see what we are going to be up to and all the guests
Love
that
it.
we'll be talking about too in the future. So thank you so much for everybody that has joined us. We'll see you then in the next episode.